All four members are present. Item 21 on our agenda is an ordinance to establish new ward map based on the state's adjustment of legislative districts. Cale, can you tell us about this, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In February, the state adopted a new redistricting map, so they changed all the state assembly and senate lines. As a result, a lot of communities ended up having their current wards split. West Allis is one of them. So as a result, I'll kind of give a brief overview of where we're at, how we got to this point, but as you can see on the screen, that's the city of West Allis. With the blue lines, that's indicating the aldermanic districts. It's important to note that what happened at the state does not change the aldermanic districts. They remain the same. So these lines will always be there, the same as they have been. Adding in the purple lines, that is the county supervisory lines. And so you can kind of see over here where that purple line is, that still is in the same line. Nothing the state did changed county supervisory lines. Adding one more layer in, this was the old assembly district lines, the red. So we used to have an assembly line that went cutting across Greenfield, down around here, swooping back, going around, cutting through this area and coming back down, as well as this one that kind of jogged across the city. And so we are split into three districts, not perfectly evenly, but almost in thirds. Just to, again, kind of help you see it, because the visual's getting a little cluttered, I thickened the outside of West Allis, so that's where we're looking, is inside the border. I'm going to remove the state lines, because those are the ones that were replaced. So this is what we're facing right here. It's the aldermanic districts and the county supervisory lines. And then the red line is where the new assembly and senate lines appear. So as you can see on the eastern side of the city, by District 1, the line follows that district line mostly until it hits Lincoln. Then it goes and continues south on 68th, but the aldermanic district jogs over and continues down 66th. As a result of that, this little tiny area, which is like the rec center and all of its neighbors, has to be its own ward. So that'll have to be renumbered as a ward. Another thing that happened that's interesting is one of the assembly lines actually goes right down Morgan Avenue, which means that the Morgan Avenue dump is its own ward. No one lives there. It's a single parcel, but it's its own ward. So that is one more requirement based on state law. So we have to now go up to 28 wards as a result. What I'm also here to present you with is the draft that was included, then actually consolidates 2 wards back down. So here's the current ward map as it exists. And what the proposal is to take Ward 15 here, which is up in the 3rd aldermanic district. That actually would be combined with Ward 14. It would create a pretty large ward, but the line that separated the two was a state assembly line that no longer exists, and we don't need to have it. 14 and 15 both voted at Lane, and so they continue to do so as a single ward. Also, Ward 22 down here, there is no more assembly line that singled that little spot out, so it can be absorbed into 21. Both of them voted at Mother of Perpetual Help, so no one changes a polling place in that case. Wards number 15 and 22 will be reassigned, so the new one over here would become 15, and the Morgan Avenue dump would become 22. So again, that's what it would look like if you do combine these two under the draft ordinance that's before you. And then those two would become their own wards as well. So with that, happy to take any questions or any thoughts or comments on this. The only thing we're required to do is create the 2 new wards. You're not required to combine them, but it does make administration easier to have fewer wards.
People vote in the same voting places?
Yes, so no one's changing polling places under this plan. There would have been an option to combine Ward 17 with Ward 18 because the state line that used to separate the two is gone, but 17 votes at the rec center, 18 votes at Frank Lloyd Wright, so it would require people from the 17th ward to change polling places. So that was not proposed in this draft for that reason.
I believe people vote where they are accustomed to.
Mr. Chair. Yeah, so the state did redone the map based on the assembly district.
So the way that the map that was adopted by the state in February actually used the ward lines from 2010. They didn't use the ones that were adopted in 2020, which is why they ended up splitting, I don't know if it was hundreds or maybe 1,000 wards around the state. Had they just used the 2020 ward maps, they could have done so without splitting any wards, and this wouldn't be necessary.
That's all
Typical.
right. I know.
I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 22 is a resolution authorizing the manager of planning and zoning to enter into a multi-jurisdictional grant application with the City of Milwaukee, Wauwatosa, and Shorewood for the Environmental Protection Agency's Climate Pollution Reduction Grant.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And item 23 is a resolution to approve the use of ARPA COVID funds for the purchase of hybrid alternative fuel vehicles by the West Dallas Health Department.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I had a couple of questions for Bob.
Sure. And here he is.
So, the vehicles, I know that we're using ARPA COVID funds. Where does the maintenance money come from in oil changes, tires down the road? Where would that funding come from?
Yeah, so I've been actually in discussion with Dave Wetking, DPW director, and so there would be support for getting techs trained on maintaining these hybrid vehicles, and so we would be able to support that through the city. As a new vehicle, though, of course, they're under warranty, so at least for a period of time, they won't be managed here.
And again, hybrid meaning that they can take gas and or charging stations.
Well, some are becoming a plug-in electric gas.
Don't these hybrids recharge themselves?
That's my understanding, but I think
Yeah,
there's
so
also
you don't,
Oh,
generally you don't plug in a hybrid.
here, we had all
Generally,
charging
it's,
stations.
yeah.
there is a new iteration where it is
there?
a
You plug it?
plug-in.
Is
Yeah,
there?
and so I don't know that there are any or many on the market at this point.
And then my other question was, and I know the funds are very specific of what they can be used for. Were there other projects in consideration for that funds, or?
Yeah, we have other projects within the health department that are being considered or have otherwise been approved to this point.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all I had.
Thank you, Alderwoman Keene. And then one thing I would add, I think it's a very good idea that our city employees are using city vehicles when they're out doing their job rather than their own personal vehicles, which admittedly they're getting reimbursed mileage for. But I think there's a double benefit. I think it's a benefit to the citizens to see that their city is working for them when they see those city vehicles around. And, well, sadly, the other part is Milwaukee had a city inspector that was murdered in a carjacking over his personal vehicle. And so if that temptation can be taken away, we certainly don't want that happening here. So I'm strongly in favor of moving to city vehicles versus personal vehicles for our city employees.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And is there anything else to come before the committee? A second? I'll
second that.
Yeah, all right. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Economic Development Committee will be in order. All four members of the committee are present. I'm going to jump down to item 27, which is most of the people are here for. And that's the new Class B tavern license for Silly Goose Bar, Milwaukee LLC, 7534 West Polite Road.
Tom, your mic.
I'm sorry, thanks. Andrew Ailes, agent. Is Andrew here? You want to come up here? Oh, no, this premises was asked to be licensed back in 2021, and it was denied at that point. And as you heard, the residents tonight, complaints about lack of parking, neighborhood issues, undesirable activities in the neighborhood. These are the same complaints that we had back in 2021, when we did not allow that license to exist. And we identified that location at that time as a place that we felt there should not be a tavern. The neighborhood residents objected to a tavern there at that time. They objected to an alcohol license being granted there at that property, and felt it was not suitable for a bar because of all of the previous activities that took place. And quite frankly, I'm inclined to agree with them. I don't see any reason why what's changed that we should allow it to be a bar now.
I do have some property maintenance that was updated. There is a fence that does cut off the alley from the residential driveway that they were talking about. The zoning commission came through and also put that in the port, that it was there. Let me grab those pictures so I can pass them to the committee. There's also different types of fencing that was installed for areas to be secluded so nobody can cut through at any more time. The previous bar, I can't speak on behalf of what happened at that previous bar. I was not a customer, nor was I the agent for that place. I feel like those actions were reckless of that agent at that time. But the noise and stuff like that with the front door and the jukebox being open, that's not anything that I foresee happening with me, especially as the Tavern League City of Milwaukee vice president. I know the laws and how to, I just want the best for the community, so I don't see any dangers for that.
You have not identified any security provisions in your plan for the license, so I don't see any security features at all at the tavern.
We're going to be installing brand new camera system and an alarm system too.
What about bouncers at the door?
The bar is not very big. I don't think bouncers are needed or security. It's not a nightclub.
In the past, bouncers were needed. You probably needed security agents outside because of the activities that were going on out there. When you have people getting half beat to death outside the bar, that's not a good thing.
Right. Once again, I think, like I was saying, that refers back to the agent that had that bar license prior. That's not my intention at all to run a bar or operate under those circumstances ever.
I'll be honest, in my opinion, it's just not a good place for a tavern. There's not enough parking there. We've had problems in that area in the past, and I would recommend that we deny this application. Nothing against you as a potential operator, but I just think it's a bad location.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. And just, yeah, I agree with everything that you said, and in addition, just the location so close to a neighborhood like that is not a good location for all the reasons you said. In addition, I move for denial.
I'll second it, but I have a question,
Alderman Vitelli.
Yeah, the fact is that, I hate to come back from 2021, which we had the same issue with the neighbors came forward opposing it, because again, it's not an area fit for a bar. So now we have, in front of us, another application, which of course I'll vote against it,
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all in favor of denying the license, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion is to deny is approved 4-1, 4-0. Thank you. We'll now move on to item 29. Well, let's go back to, I think we had two at the beginning at the mayor. Let's do item 3. It's an ordinance to adopt the City of West Allis 2045 comprehensive plan that we had the hearing on this evening.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Then we have a new Class B Tavern and Public Entertainment license for 2+2 Success Pub and Grill at 5832 West Lincoln. Anthony Bergerino.
I move for approval.
I'll second that for discussion purposes, but we have Mr. Bergerino here. I'd like
Right.
to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
with Mr.
that's,
Bergerino.
Right. Mr. Bergerino, everything done now?
Yes, except we're working on the sign.
Building inspections happy?
Building inspection's happy, health department's happy, plumbing inspection happy.
This is the tavern where the facade fell down.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the facade's back up
the,
with the 1910 brick.
Mr. Chair,
Well,
I mean, the building inside was something really.
I know.
You want to see it, you know? So Ms. Bergerino really
You
done
know,
a hell of a good job.
we should have probably had a hoarders movie there. They should have filmed it.
Yeah, that's what I
Because
heard.
every square inch of it was full from floor to ceiling.
Yeah.
Basement, first floor.
Mr. Chair, I have a question. Yeah.
Alderman Haas.
Is there anyone here that's here against this tavern? As I look in our crowd here, okay. And I have a question for staff. Yeah, what kind of notice went out for this item versus the former Sir Gregory's item? Was there a notice to the neighborhood? What's our requirement for that?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, please,
So
Cal.
there is no ordinance requirement for it. However, this item has been out there for,
Wild, yes.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years
Yep.
coming up
Okay.
on, yeah.
Right.
so, and it's appeared on multiple agendas, so with no requirement to publish, no, neighbors weren't specifically notified. If the council wishes to do so, there's an option to delay this approval or this consideration until that, but there is no requirement to do so.
Yeah, thank you, Kale, right, and I haven't heard anything negative about this
I haven't either.
establishment.
And like our city attorney said, this has been on the agenda for a long time, waiting for Mr. Bergerino to complete his activities at fixing up the place, so,
Mr. Chairman, it was a lot of, like I said, a lot of time, a lot of work,
Yes.
you know. And again, the neighbors initially, when they had a tarp in front of the building, well, that's where the people call and complain. But now I think they're happy. At least the building looks good, you know, it's gonna be a combination of a restaurant, you know, they're gonna serve food. I mean, I believe it's gonna be a good operation, you know.
good. It's been
It's
moved,
pretty tough, you know.
been moved and seconded for approval. Any further discussion?
It was Vince that was the
Yeah,
first, I was the
and
second.
Kevin. Any further discussion then? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, good luck, yes.
Yep, we'll have a party there.
Yeah. Used to work there when I turned 21.
Oh, you're kidding.
Is it last year?
When it was
Last
Last
year?
year?
So there was so one of the things I saved was a bunch of pictures in there.
Uh-oh, delete them.
Uh-oh.
I put them on the wall. They're up there.
Burn them.
Tell me who all those people are.
Was it the sail in then?
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, next we have item 26 on the agenda. It's a new Class B tavern license for Caulfield's 7413 West Greenfield. Casey Radicek. Casey.
Thank you.
Ah,
The last guy that operated this place was,
Now,
questionable. Hope you're going to clean the place up. And
Yeah.
when are you going to open?
Well, realistically, looking at the end of summer, maybe
End of
you know,
summer?
shortly after Labor Day, I think. Yeah, the way things are going. I mean, we're moving along at a good pace, but I want to take my time, and obviously we're doing the permits and everything with the city, so
Yeah, we're
take our time and do it right.
familiar with you as an operator, so not an issue at all there.
Sure.
I would
Wish
make
you
a
best of
motion
luck.
to approve.
I'll second it.
I have a question, Mr. Chair. Yeah, what kind of place is it going to be? I mean, is there a theme? Like, what do you, or
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a iteration of a classic wine restaurant. You know, we'll definitely have food. You know, probably 60% food, 40% beer, liquor, wine, but
Wine?
wine forward.
Go.
But some of those classic menu items like oysters at happy hour, paninis, smaller pizzas, things like that. Some small and large shareable. It's a bit of a stretch for. I shouldn't say that. It's something different for West Dallas.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
kind of why I called it Caulfield, because we might be a little bit of an outcast, but I think we'll do well.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The
Good
one
luck.
I did have one question, if I could.
Yeah.
So I applied for and paid for the license, obviously, knowing that we're probably not going to open until late summer, early fall, and the deadline to reapply for that license is June 30th. Is there a way to, I guess, prorate that, or I don't
Madam
know?
Clerk?
Well, city attorney's here.
Or city? Oh.
I'll jump in.
Yeah. Okay.
The initial license is already prorated, so the one you buy now will start in March until end of June, and it's going to be prorated just for those 3 months, so it won't be the full.
So it'll be like a
license.
15-month.
Well,
or-
you'll have to reapply for
gotta
July
reapply.
1, but the fee you actually are going to be charged between now and the end of this license is going to be 1/4 of an annual license.
Oh, okay, I understand.
It's what you want, but on the front end.
Got it. Okay. Yep, that makes sense. Thank you.
But you won't have to come back and see us again.
Got it. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Item 28. It's a resolution to approve the items and conditions for an economic development loan to Bad Charlie LLC and MB Dining LLC Reunion Restaurant in the amount of up to $50,000.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 29 is resolution to approve the terms and conditions for an economic development loan to Estella Center for Early Education located at 1112 West National in the amount up to $50,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr.
Carried.
Chairman, I just want to point out Keisha Jefferson is right there. She is the applicant
Ah,
or the business
good to
owner
meet you.
that's applying. So I just want to recognize her. She's opening up her first daycare, and it's taken almost 2 years, and she has gone to the valley to do this project. I mean, it's taken a lot of strength to get to here today. She's done an incredible job. There's great pictures of her she has on her phone of the place. It's ready to open. She's licensed from the state. And I just want to applaud her for moving here into our community and taking a place that's been vacant and turning it into something that's needed in our
yeah, it's
community to get
definitely
people
needed in
working.
that
So,
area. Very good.
thank you,
Thank you.
Mr.
Good to
Chairman.
meet you. Item 30 on the agenda is a resolution to approve the terms and conditions for an economic development loan to Urban Harvest at 1825 South 72nd Street in an amount up to $50,000.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 31 is a resolution to approve the terms and conditions for an economic development loan to Dunn Sporting Goods at 6034 West National in an amount up to $50,000.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And the last item is a resolution to approve a storefront improvement grant contract by and between the City of West Dallas and Bad Charlie LLC at 6610 West Greenfield in the amount not to exceed $14,000.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I move we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
All right.